Hi everyone, old guy here, and it is the last day of November 2024, and I hope you had as good a Thanksgiving as I did. Smoked the turkey and some pork roasts and I spent Black Friday putting up my Christmas decorations because it's a felony to put them up before Thanksgiving. Some of you are going to jail. It's another felony to have unread books on your shelves, and I have been valiantly making every effort to avoid criminal charges and read what I've got. But this is difficult to do when I keep adding to my TBRs. You know how it is, you walk by a bookstore or you're browsing the thrift shops and inevitably pick up 5 or 10 more. I mean, can't really tell from this, but they are just stacked up everywhere. I need a bigger house. I tell you, it's like the vig that you owe your bookie. This video is going to be a combination TBR and book haul. But really, aren't all of them? Dennis Lehane's Live by Night, which is the sequel to the rather extraordinary The Given Day. This follows Joe Coughlin's descent into the Boston underworld, and if it's only half as good as Given Day, this will be a treat. At the same time I picked this one up, I also picked up Darkness Take My Hand, which I thought was the first in the Gennaro and Kenzie detective series, but is actually the second one. It's 2 before Gone Baby Gone, and 3 before Moonlight Mile. I'd show it to you, but the maxi fan that I had installed in the top of my van cracked and allowed a rainstorm to ruin several books that I had in the back there, like Darkness. I found that it's not a good idea to dry a wet paperback by throwing it into the dryer. It's readable, but boy, is this book a mess. For some reason, this is Death Rattle by Terry Johnson. I am running across Terry Johnson books in very good shape. I don't know anything about this book or the Titus Bass series at all, because I haven't read anything by Johnston. And I tell you, this seems to be one of many, many books in the series. Still, it looks like my cup of tea. I'll let you know. Thunderstruck by Erik Larson. I was blown away by Erik Larson's Devil in the White City, which I've got somewhere back here. And this appears to be a story in the same vein, involving Marconi's invention of the wireless and a murderer on a boat. And it's a true story. The Mysterious Flame of Queen Loana. I mean, it's Umberto Eco. What more do you need to know? The Fist of God, Frederick Forsyth. It's a Frederick Forsyth, who's one of those authors I am inclined to read because of the excellent Day of the Jackal, from which an excellent movie was made twice, apparently. And I apparently already had a copy of this, so it's twice for me. I don't even remember what I've got anymore. Now, isn't this cute? All About the Stars. It's published in 1954 as a, an all-about book, which I'm not familiar. I wasn't aware of the series. But, I mean, come on, look at this. Now, I don't intend to read it, but, you know, I probably will anyway. It's just a nice thing to have. Lake Woebegone Days. You know, this is another one I'm not actually going to read because I already have. And I picked it up off the shelf purely on a nostalgia urge. Hey, look at this, where the kids are above average. And I was thumbing through it, and I found a handwritten note by Garrison Keillor. So, of course, I had to buy it. A few Larry McMurtrys, such as Sin Killer, which is set in the early 1800s and involves an English aristocratic family on a lark across the American frontier, which is not a place you want to lark about. Dead Man's Walk, which is a prequel to Lonesome Dove. Comanche Moon, which is a sequel to Dead Man's Walk. Zeke and Ned, which is one written with Diana Osana about two Cherokee warriors who fight in the Civil War. And Pretty Boy Floyd, another dual authorship with a fairly self-explanatory title. I've got quite a few McMurtry books, including his book on book collecting, which is back here, which has the maxim in it that anything can be anywhere, like a handwritten note from Garrison Keillor. Now, I met both Larry McMurtry and Diana Osana, sort of. I attended the last book sale in 2012 where McMurtry decided to close his famous bookstore, Booked Up, in Archer City, Texas, and was selling everything. If you want all the sordid details, they're here. Fittingly enough, I picked this nonfiction novel called The Empire of the Summer Moon, which is about the famous Parker raid by the Comanche, which led to the birth of Quanah Parker, one of the best-known Comanche chiefs, even though he's half white. Equal opportunity employer, those Comanches. Parker was a war chief who ended up a deputy sheriff or marshal in Lawton, Oklahoma, which is my childhood home. If you can't beat them, join them. And this one, Die Eternity's Dawn, which is book 3 of the Founding of the Commonwealth series. I haven't read the first 2 books, so I can't read this until I read those, which means I'm going to have to add to my collection. So many books, so little time. Well, that's enough for now. I mean, I've got a lot more just everywhere, but we'll save those for a future video. Old guy here. See you later.